Okay, good afternoon and welcome everyone to the Stations Department question and answer session, where today you will be meeting the candidates who are running for office. Welcome everyone to the Stations Department question and answer, where you'll be meeting everyone who's running for office from the Stations Department, where you can ask them questions about this upcoming election and their platform, right? And what do they plan on doing for the Stations Department? So I'll open it up and introduce myself to you. My name is Evangeline Byers. I'm running for president as the head of the Stronger Together Slate, and I will be representing you as president in the Stations Department. Some of the issues that are very prevalent in the Stations Department that we find a top priority that has been communicated to me not only by the candidates but by us going out in the field and meeting with the members at large is that you all are very, very concerned about your safety, wage theft, the excessive discipline that is happening in your department, the loss of your work, and just making sure all around that Stations is not forgotten. You all are the eyes and ears of the department. You're the first line of defense for the subway system. If anything is going to happen, or if anyone that is a threat to the system is going to come into the subway system, it has to come through you all. And so we know that you all matter, and we're going to do everything together to make sure that you all are okay. There's some issues that the majority of you still are unaware of that affect us all local wide. And one of those things is the retiree medical. This past contract, Richie Davis gave back the lifetime medical benefits, retiree medical benefits, which impact our over 46,000 members. And this is a big give back because this departs from what we've had since 2002, where the Transit Authority would pay for our retiree medical even when we're no longer on the job. So what that means is when you look at your paycheck, you'll see a FICA deduction. That FICA deduction gives you Medicare when you turn age 65. In lieu of, which was a give back, Richie Davis gave back the CPPO for Medicare, and now you are in what is called Medicare Advantage plans, which is private insurance administered by Aetna. It's for profit, meaning if you have to go to a doctor, you have to get a pre-approval or a referral. If you're going to have surgery, the doctors have to be in network. It is not accepted throughout all 50 states. So if you plan on moving to places like North Carolina or Arizona, they do not accept Aetna Medicare Advantage. However, the give back of Medicare is accepted in all 50 states. For us who are active members, if you become Medicare eligible while you are on the job, you will also go into Medicare Advantage plans, which many of our members are now in. We have a lot of people who are still down, who still work for the company, who are 65 plus, 65, 67, 70 years old. Some people max out and work the full entire 40 years and then retire. All of those individuals fall into that Medicare bracket. And all of us, we're all retirees in training. So it is our give back as well. So it's very important that we all understand that. So we are going to be hosting a rally on September 20th outside of 2 Broadway. It will start at we'll be hosting a rally at 2 Broadway to start at 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. I'm sorry, outside of 130 Livingston Street, not 2 Broadway, 130 Livingston Street. We will be out there rallying on the 20th. This is very important that the active and retiree members that you know come out and join in to this fight. This is a huge opportunity for the members of the Stations Department and all of our retirees to come out, learn about what's going on, and then let the MTA and management know that we are not settling for this. Another thing that goes right along with this is that myself, along with the retirees, we have sued the MTA and the union for giving back the medical benefit, right? The retiree medical benefit. We started oral arguments on June 10th. So that is very important for you all to know. We're just waiting for the judge to give us a decision, and we're going to continue on in our fight to get back our lifetime medical benefits. Now, with that being said, we're going to open it up to you all for questions. If you don't have any questions right now, I'll let your Vice President, Tamika Finney, introduce herself and talk to you about her plans as the VP of Stations. Tamika, can you hear us?
Good afternoon, everyone. Some of you already know me. My name is Tamika Meek Finney, and I'm running for the VP of the Stations Department. First and foremost, I'm happy that you're here. It is an honor to serve you for the next years to come. I appreciate you. Again, it is an honor to serve you. On my platform, I want us to make safety a priority. I also want to implement things for us to keep our employment. As you can see, the Allied Security, they're guarding the gate. They trying to make decisions on who can go through the gate. It's more of farming out our work, and this is a union shop. Also, some things have been brought to light, that I'm going to also drop right before the election, that our jobs are really in jeopardy. And I'm hoping that we can all come together and make sure that we stay employed, because as Ms. Byers said, we are the eyes and ears. Just because we don't move the train, we are still the front lines of all our customers. And now I'll let Ricky introduce herself.
Good afternoon, everyone. Ricky Pavon. I'm running for Division Chair of Stations. Our main concerns aren't being met by our current union administration. Our safety, they're not being transparent with us. They're not allowing you to voice your opinions about anything that they're doing. We need to change that completely and open up our union to the membership instead of it being so close-minded and so cliquish. We are all dues-paying members that need to be involved inside our union. And now we'll let Shampri speak, our recording secretary.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shampri. I'm running for recording secretary. Basically, discipline is way too high. It needs to be controlled. It needs to be taken back and managed properly and better. We need to enforce progressive discipline. We need actually equity in our pay scale. We don't have equity. We don't even have true opportunity for equal employment to move up and move along in this department. And those are the things that we need to fight for. So I'll open it up to Jeremiah Wade.
Jeremiah? Okay, there he goes.
Yeah, excuse me. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm running for station agent section chair, and the goal is to create transparency, bring back shop steward programs, and educate our members. The power should not be solely within the union. Everyone should be knowledgeable. Everyone should know their rights, their rules and regulations, and how to defend themselves against management. And everyone should have the right to grow within the union. We also want to create a better system for union meetings. So if we can do video meetings, that would be better. We want more members to be involved in the union, and we don't want to run it as a dictatorship. we want everyone to have the right to give their opinion. So everything we do, we want to run it across the membership as well, because everything that's done in the union affects the past, present, and future. That's it.
Okay, so we have a question. I'll let the question, let me show it. So the question is, currently fighting management for unsafe working conditions, signed a safety resolution form yesterday to challenge this. So the Good Fight said that she's currently fighting management regarding unsafe working conditions, and she signed a safety resolution form yesterday to challenge unsafe working conditions. Good Fight, can you elaborate a little bit more on what happened so that we can address that issue and explain it to the membership? Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to give her a moment to, to give us more information about what happened. But dealing with safety in your department, as you know, as you can see, she mentioned a safety dispute resolution form. So a safety dispute resolution form can be requested by all members whenever they are presented with unsafe working conditions or asked to do something that is unsafe. You request it from your supervisor, and your supervisor has to give it to you. Once the supervisor gives you the safety dispute resolution form, there is supposed to be an immediate answer to that complaint. If your immediate supervisor cannot do anything, then it's kicked up to the superintendent, who then basically fixes, clarifies, or gives a remedy to that situation. If they do not have a remedy, they have to both give you a copy of it, but the work then stops, right? So if there's no remedy, nothing can be concluded, all work stops. When you request the safety dispute resolution form, you should then contact the union, right? So keep that in mind. Whenever something happens, you have to contact the union to let them know that you have now requested a safety dispute resolution form. You are protected once you request the safety dispute resolution form from discipline, because you are asking for intervention due to unsafe working conditions. So I don't know yet what the Good Fight is, what the issue is currently with their situation, but they basically are dealing with unsafe working conditions. And we know that unsafe working conditions are rampant throughout the stations department. Many of you may be concerned, because I'm from RTO, am I going to step up and make the issues of stations a top priority? Well, I am. I'm already very intricately involved in the stations department. As you know, I was the person that stepped in to ensure that Angelita Barkis, who was reporting unsafe conditions at her station, at her work location, was taken out of service and put up for dismissal. I hired an attorney and got her and ensured that we were able to save her job. So she's back at work working. I also assist in a lot of other issues dealing with grievance and discipline currently in your department. We have been rallying and doing a lot of work just to deal with what's happening in the stations department. And again, I'm the person that is suing to get back the retiree medical benefits. So stations department works directly hand in hand with RTO and basically all divisions, because we all interact with the stations department. Again, you are the first line of defense. We can do nothing without stations, and you are very, very important. The issues of the contracting out of your work, all of these things will be made a priority. As I said in the video, if you all watched it, Where is the Union? One of the things that that I discussed and addressed in that video was that with me and Tamika Finney working together, who would be a VP, that we are together going to make sure that the issues of stations department are resolved. Okay, so we have the question. The booth was closed and they refused to open it even though the cops are passing by. That doesn't mean I'm safe. Okay. I told them that Mr. Pollock was stabbed 7 times even though cops were on the station. So eventually he had the CTA clean the booth and I was allowed to stay in the booth. I called Kelly, but no response. So that's another thing. If anybody wants to address this, that you all will be present, talk to them about how your plans on as reps, how you plan on dealing with being present. So when Good Fight, the Good Fight contacted Kelly, he did not answer her or call her back. There's still been no response even up until today. Meek, do you want to address that?
I'll go on and address it.
Yeah.
As reps, we'll have actually a schedule out posted so the members can actually see who's covering what tour and at what time and in what area, so that you never feel that you're not going to have a rep on duty. Somebody's not going to be able to respond, as well as a live 24-hour call hotline. So if you're not reaching them on the phone, you can definitely get somebody on the hotline to pick up and reach out to you. And asking for safety resolution forms and then facing discipline and everything, that's another problem. That's a whole nother situation, something I face quite a few times, is when you ask for a safety resolution form and then you turn around, you get a DAN. That's something else that's going to stop. And I believe legal action will need to be involved, because that's the only thing that it seems that MTA understands. And our union, our current administration, is failing at. They don't know what it is to slap them with a lawsuit.
Right. So piggybacking on what Shampri just said, as the president, we will together oversee and ensure that you all are answered in real time. We will put in protocols and time limits on responding to grievances and just people actually just reaching out. The training of the shop stewards in the departments, giving people more access to the education and training of what's going on in the department. Those things are what is going to be made available to the membership, so that we are able to have more people qualified when things happen. So say if Shampri is in Queens and there's something happening at the far end of Brooklyn, like Euclid Station, and he can't get there in time, there should be someone in the vicinity within that area, maybe Hoyt and Skimmerhorn, somewhere station, that they would be able to respond to whatever those issues are. Currently, we do not see, there's no visibility, there's no safety officers consistently in the field making their rounds, making sure that the working conditions are safe. So we are going to make those things a top priority. Let's move on to the next question from Jose. Jose says, is there a plan to give station agents more access to Omni to safeguard our jobs? Well, we're going to have to go back in with the Transit Authority and begin to renegotiate what was already negotiated, right? We don't know actually what was signed off on. We don't have access to the paperwork, the side letters of agreement. We don't know what Kelly has fully agreed upon in that agreement. All we know is what they've told us. So when all of those side letters of agreements are made available and I'm able to go in and review, then we'll be able to look at it more and be able to give you a more definitive answer of what we're going to be able to do about that. But right now, we don't know to the extent of the give back of the station agent jobs. We have Mr. Babb asking about availability. When you say availability and accessibility, can you elaborate a little bit more, Mr. Babb? Okay, hold on. Put something else. A safety team should be put in place. Screening members should be first priority in adding to the team. Correct. So that's one of the things that I just addressed, that with bringing back the shop steward program and making it available to all of our members in Stations Department, by you all getting that training, people who have gone through the training, we will have experienced safety officers who are going around with the shop stewards and those who have been trained and letting them basically help to represent the membership. But there will be safety teams.
And let me piggyback off of that. One major concern that I have that needs to be addressed is safety issues being responded to within a timely manner.
Mm-hmm.
Concerns and issues, especially quality of life issues, should not be going on. I understand there's a chain of command, but there's certain instances where it needs to be brought to Sheila Hudson immediately. Like, members should not be waiting. Like, basically, we have a lot of unsafe conditions. We have, booth doors that don't work, that don't open properly. Most of these booths should have been switched already to the abloy key. The MTA or the stations department per se moves very slow because they are not challenged enough by the current administration to get the ball rolling. So me personally, I would take a big part in making sure the safety standards are being followed correctly and implemented better for our department.
Okay. So we have another question here from Mr. Tawan Phoenix. Tawan is asking, what plans do you have to address working conditions during extreme heat or cold weather and ensure air-conditioned and safe workspaces for all stations department members? What plans, again, I'll repeat the question again. What plans do you guys have to address working conditions during extreme heat or cold weather to ensure air-conditioned and safe workspaces for all stations department members? Okay, we have
again, let me get on that again. Again, that's a quality of life issue. And let me just bring up something to all members. When you walk around the stations department and you go to any field office, any supervisor's office, they all have working air conditioners. They all have working heaters. To me, it's a form of discrimination when you go to a facility room or any type of room that is used by a station employee, hourly employee, and it doesn't have, working AC or working heat, or just doesn't have it at all. And that's a major, major quality of life issue that will definitely be addressed by me myself. I can guarantee
that. The fact that this system is still being stuck in the Stone Age and that we don't have AC and proper heating in all these rooms, it's an OSHA violation. And once again, Department of Labor conditions.
hold on, sorry. Start over. Sorry about that. He was muted.
So basically, I'm gonna piggyback off of Wade said. Me personally, lawsuits, media exposure, bringing the media down here and exposing the MTA and exposing this current administration, taking them station by station, room by room of the work conditions that we have to work in. These rooms are horrible, and that is what needs to be done. OSHA, Department of Labor, massive media exposure. That means an everyday thing. Bringing them down here, showing them that if it's 100 degrees on the street and it's 125 in the station and there's no AC, that's a problem. There could be no quench at some of these stations as well. Lawsuit. That is what the MTA understands, and that's what my team, we believe in bringing.
Right. So I want you all to hear now from your VP and the division chair. So first we'll let you hear from your VP, and then you'll hear next from the division chair.
Hello, everyone. How are you? I'm asking for cooling centers. While the lawsuit may or may not be going on, we are asking for cooling centers. We're asking for a designated place where our members can cool off. I am aware that they're going to say, well, this room can't have an air conditioner. This room is not capable because we have a blockage in the wall. So if 34th Street is not capable, then I'm pretty sure that we have a cooler center at 42nd Street. And, with this cooler center, our members can sign out and they can take the train to the next station. There's no way that you have members signing out for cool breaks and there's nowhere to be cooled off at. So while we have this lawsuit in progress, or while we're going back and forth with OSHA, we are asking
Ricky and I are asking for cooling centers, a place where they can definitely cool off.
And that's where I come in as your president, right? The working together between myself and your VP is how these things get accomplished. So as you hear that the plan for cooling centers, and to make sure that if at 34th Street there is an area that is blocked, the transit authority has to basically bring in the carpenters and the skilled trades that we have working here to do the necessary construction to make those places accessible to to have ventilation, or give us the air conditionings that we have at other state centers, like at if you go to what is that Continental. If you go into Continental, there's an air condition with a vent that lets the air basically come in and circulate, where it doesn't have to be put into a wall. So they're going to have to use the technologies that's available to make sure that everywhere is cooled. And also, in the cooling centers are a great idea to have at the different locations, areas where we can have cooling centers.
Okay, currently at this time, it's been 120 years that the train stations have been in service. It's been 120 years that our current administration should know every single station by heart. Okay, we need to create a database for each and every single station to go ahead and have everything in one area, letting us know where there's air conditioning, where there's heating problems, where there's bathroom problems, all types of different areas that the MTA needs to address for us. Right now, our current administration, every single time it gets hot or every single time that it gets cold, they're asking you to write G2s to go ahead and get something done for your station, which is completely ridiculous at this point. Exactly. So it makes absolutely no sense why every single year we go through this with our current union. They should have something already on the books and able to take it directly to transit and show them, hey, this doesn't have air conditioning. This station doesn't have a heater in it. We have to come together as our union and get all of this done and straightened out for our members. So this way there's no more heat complaints, there's no more cold weather complaints, and we also have to go ahead and ensure that our members, when we are out there during these elements, are properly dressed at those times with our uniforms. So we need to get different uniforms and so on and so forth on the table with transit.
Okay, thank you, Ricky. Let's go back to the questions. A lot have come in. Snowman 400 said, MTA left station agents out of Omni discussions.
That is totally true. They absolutely did. The Stations Department, the actual hourly employees had no involvement, no discussion on what's going on with Omni. A lot of parts of Omni, from what I've got from speaking to different people, is still in beta. And they're using the cheapest parts available in these Omni machines, and it's utterly ridiculous. They want to try to phase us out, but you can't. You need every human element in this system. As we can see, as what's going on, the 7 line, there's always somebody getting hit by a train, falling on train throughout the entire system. Once again, we are the eyes and the ears. We should not be left behind. We need equity. We're not getting equality, and we're not getting equity. We need equity in the Stations Department and in every department in New York City Transit at Local 100. And I'm willing to fight for it.
Okay. Giovanni Babb went back to talking about
a lot of it also has to do with some of these elected officials for the Stations Department who have been off the road for so long that they don't even understand what's going on. So we have people who've been elected or just been off the road for about 5-10 years, and they're making the decisions, and we're not even asked in the union meetings pretty much for any input or anything like that. And it's a big disparity, and it's not cool at all. And that's where the transparency will come in from. If you elect us, when you elect us, that's when the transparency will come in, and we will have surveys, polls, and make sure everyone opinion counts.
Okay. Giovanni Babb says he mentioned the issue of even water coolers. So throughout the facilities, they are supposed to be, and all facilities are supposed to be getting new water coolers. So you should know in your sections and in your areas, has the transit authority brought in the new water coolers, the water stations in all of the facilities? Mr. Babb says, I don't know if we're allowed to bring the media without transit consent. So as the union, yes, we can bring the media in. We can bring the media and talk about what's going on and give them and show the conditions that we're working under. Currently, we're under a company union. So we don't use the media, OSHA, PESH, and all of the city and state agencies that are there to keep us safe. And because our union has neglected it, it seems as if it's off limit. Now, as an active employee, outside of union involvement, you're not supposed to just go to the media in uniform and just start talking. The next question is it true we can ride the train on the comfort for cooling break? Then again, how safe would that be, riding the train in public? That's not a remedy.
That's not a written rule.
Yeah, that's not, yeah. Somebody probably told you to do that, but I haven't seen that documented anywhere in your VP to be.
That's not a written rule.
Right.
Like I said, if anybody knows me, I used to be in mobile before I became a station agent, and that's not a written rule. When we used to go, and I used to be married to Times Square, the 7 train, that's where it would start at. So our supervisors would tell us to sit in the 7 train until it would pull off. But that is not a written rule.
Mm-hmm.
Because in all reality, remember, they don't want us sitting down on the trains anyway in uniform when the writing public deserves a seat.
So Snowman asked, MTA violates safety every day. If elected, what do you plan to do about unsafe work conditions in and out?
Hi. What's his name?
His name, he's Snowman.
Hi.
Just say Snowman.
Hi, Snowman. Well, the first thing that we need to do as a union, we need to have safety standouts. Because the public needs us. MTA act as if that the public does not need the Stations Department. And with Evangeline Byers, we're not going to be throwing money behind politicians. That's just talking and not standing up for us. What I will say is that the current administration, they are in court, but they are the ones that put us out there on the front lines without any type of protection.
Mm-hmm.
We also have to go ahead and get into and read the entire agreement that Robert Kelly did in a backdoor agreement about us doing customer service outside of the booth. So this way we can try to bring us back into the booth for our safety and protection.
And speaking as a CTA, prime example, like I said, I've been through this, where they violate your safety and then they hit you with a DAN. Lawsuits and bringing it up and exposing it on media that they don't respect that we are needed to be safe at all times and no matter what we do. Sue them.
Right.
That means suing the superintendent, suing the GSM, suing the supervisor. That's what they understand, is when you start affecting their pockets.
Now, I want to mention something. You hear Shampri often talking about the media, suing. I just want to explain that, why he's talking about the media and suing. So what the MTA understands is what is called legalese, right? When you take them to court, you file them with discrimination when they're hit in their pockets. Now, what our current union does is we settle out of court often. Under my administration, we will not be settling with the MTA. We will letting them be found guilty of the violations, the safety violations that is occurring. So if they're violating the safety dispute resolution form practices, if they are excessively disciplining people for reporting unsafe work conditions, we are going to use the full extent of the law to deal with the MTA. Gone will be the days of telling you it's nothing that we can do. It's above my pay grade. I can't handle that. That's not something that I can deal with. All of your union reps are going to be trained in the area of safety. They're going to know how to actually be a division chair, a section chair, a vice chair, serve on the executive board. Therefore, when it comes to dealing with the MTA and safety, these things will be properly handled, right? We will have safety teams. We will expand again and connect those who are going to go through the shop steward programs with the union reps, and they will be assigned to help us govern and keep everybody safe until, to help get everybody safe, not until, but to ensure everyone's safe.
So again, it's about holding management accountable as a union for unsafe work practices that Robert Kelly and administration are 100% completely aware of, especially when it comes to CTA'S. A lot of the duties that are asked of you to perform that are totally unsafe, that are like two-man jobs or areas that need to be completely cut off, we will hold management accountable for things of that nature. And we will have our backing from Evangeline Byers. The president will be more involved in our department. And you'll actually see the president walking around the different stations, checking on members. We'll even have bulletins, our own version of bulletins, to educate you. And that's the big thing. A lot of members need refreshers. Sometimes a supervisor may tell you to do something, or they say, oh, can you do me a favor? There's no such thing as favors down here. When someone is asking you for a favor, 9 out of 10 times, it's something that is unsafe. So we're definitely very big on education and making sure you know what's right from wrong, making sure you know to ask for the infectious waste kit, what you shouldn't be cleaning. Should you have a mask, goggle, and gloves? Should mobile be doing it? Is it a real station CTA's job? Should the overhead team be doing it? Different things of that nature that really will, it will change.
Thank you. So we have a lot of questions. We want to get to everybody. So as we continue on in the Q&A, when we put out a question, 2 people can answer instead of all 5 of us, okay? Okay, so here we go. Second question, what are you guys' plans for upgrading our current snow removal equipment? Currently, we have the worst equipment ever. Chain gang equipment, horrible.
Hello, everyone. I noticed that at Quay Street and other locations that they have snow blowers. I don't know if the snow blowers are being taken home, but we want to be like our sister and brother company where they have the wonderful snow blowers. So we're looking for those type of snow blowers. We looking for the shovels where they're not so heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Ricky.
Electric shovels as well as snow blowers. And the ice chippers, they also have the warmers that transit can also put out the warmers onto the platforms themselves to prevent a lot of ice forming.
Build up.
So that's what we need to look into and try to get transit to purchase these things to make the CTA's job much easier, especially during snow time.
Especially since the fact that they want to give and make us work both of our RDOs as a CTA. I know how stressful it is, how tiring it is to be doing 12 hours a day I remember when I first got into mobile, we worked the whole month without a day off. At some point, if we're working 2 weeks straight, we need that RDO. And I will be fighting for that, definitely, for sure. And to get better tools and equipment. And once again, pay equity needs to be on the table. Because I spent the hour and a half talking with sanitation. We kind of do a little bit more work than sanitation, and we're not getting paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
Just to put that out there.
Okay, so something that he didn't ask, although you asked him about equipment, there's another huge issue in your department when it comes to snow removal, snow duty, and that comes around the issue of your pay. You all are often robbed of your wages and doing when you have to do the mandatory snow duty, right? On your paychecks, you're not seeing the overtime. I get a lot of complaints.
Or the snow bonus.
Yeah, correct. Or the snow bonus. It's missing off your paycheck. So what I'm going to do as president is ensure that we make sure that you all are moved on the electronic system, right? The same way in RTO, we're able to see our pay in real time. I will ensure that that is implemented. That is not something that cannot be done. It's not hard. It's not difficult. The Transit Authority already has the technology. All they have to do is assign it to the stations department. You all have pick jobs, right? The same way they load up the jobs in RTO in the different departments is the same thing that you all can have. It makes no sense that you all are still operating in this antiquated system of signing the payroll and then the payroll gets lost or the supervisor or superintendent doesn't put it in. There are different supervisors and personnel that are dealing with the attendance sheets daily. So one person may be there today and there may be another person tomorrow. By the end of the week, what happened to your money, right? And then you have to run all over the place and there's never really a resolution to it. Sometimes people never get paid. And that is wage theft. That is something that the Department of Labor would immediately step in on. Remember during COVID, it was found that the Transit Authority did not pay the contractors who were cleaning the stations. So if they do that to them, we know that it is happening to us, and that is something that I will definitely can be done immediately.
And during snow duty, I will put together a team to do a snow payroll audit on the MTA. So to make sure every member that is working snow duty will get paid their proper wages.
Mm-hmm. Along the same route, we also have to go ahead and bring back paper stubs because the MTA, without any type of warning or even foregoing during COVID, removed our pay stubs. Now we need those back. Definitely. So this way we're able to sit down and calculate exactly how much we're supposed to be paid during those times. Mm-hmm. So this way there's no discrepancies for our members.
Okay. So I hope that answer was very informative, not only to Lance, but to the rest of the people in the department. So if elected, Snowman, what do you folks plan to do about bathrooms, facility rooms, booths, stations are heavily rat infested where rodents are getting into the booths, facility rooms, and bathrooms? Again, what your VP just said, contact OSHA. And that is a part of the protocol. But also in our contract, it was already awarded that we have that the stations and all of the facilities are supposed to be upgraded. The Transit Authority has done some stations and have neglected the facilities and bathrooms. So we would have to enforce the contract and make sure that they get those things done. Again, the president of the union has to be concerned with what the VP of your department brings. Well, for me, what your VP brings to me. And Tamika, Finney, and I have already sat down and discussed a myriad of these issues, and we're on the same page as far as ensuring that the stations department is taken care of. So you don't have to worry. You're going to be in very, very good hands. I care about what's happening to us. I'm a member just like you, and I'm tier 6. So I will not be leaving anytime soon. And so the upgraded facilities affect myself, who's a train operator, as well. And so it affects all of us when we are going into facilities that are unclean. Well, not really unclean, but unkept, where the transit authority has not upgraded the facilities the way they're supposed to. They were just approved for, I think it's $68 billion over $68 billion over the next 3 years to deal with upgrades and construction and development in the system. And so that definitely needs to be a part of what that money and stuff is going to. Okay, next question. Oh, we did that already. Are you guys going in order of the questions? Yes. What's happening is when you put a question up, somebody else is putting a question up too. So if you look in the questions, you'll see that you've answered, and then somebody else put a question. So I'm just hitting what's here before us. Are we protected by whistleblower law? Yes. If you are a whistleblower, yes, you are.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Mr. Babb. Where is it? Is it true stations asked for money to be taken out of the booth back in 2020?
Yes. Kelly.
That's Major. He's running for a delegate. You want to go ahead and expand?
Mr. Kelly told us at
Wait, let me get it on you. Is it on you?
Mr. Kelly told us at one of the last classes that he was responsible for having the money taken out of the booth. In some convoluted way, it was supposed to ensure our job security. I still don't understand how. No one in the class understood how, but that was a statement.
Removing the money from the booth actually hurt us as a department and in our title, because that was the one thing preventing transit from closing booths and ending our title.
And getting
Completely.
rid of lunch reliefs.
And getting rid of lunch reliefs, which this current administration got rid of lunch reliefs. They've allowed booths to close.
Gain sharing.
They got rid of gain sharing.
Mobile jobs got cut.
Mobile jobs are being cut at this moment. I believe there's 54 of them that are being cut. They're also trying to do uniform days with mobile wash at this moment in time. A grievance should have been filed on behalf of all CTA'S to prevent the uniform days and to prevent the jobs from being lost. This union has entirely, over the past 15 years, have lost more than 3,000 jobs in our department. We have to stop that. We need to create jobs, not lose them.
Mm-hmm.
Also, let me add that, our sister and brother, which is Metro North and Long Island Railroad, they have also had money, taken away during COVID, but they had a stipulation. They do take money. And just like with the Omni, Ricky had brought it to their attention that we can do some Omni transactions, and I even said we can do Omni transactions, at our
Major hubs.
At our major hubs like 34th Street, 42nd Street, and that was shot down. But that is a better way to bring money into the system, to keep us employed. The customers need us, and I don't think that, the current administration knows how much the customers need the station agents and the cleaners. And by giving us, the opportunity, which is, our right to serve the customers with Omni, it's a win-win. The customers are happy, MTA is happy, and we are working.
Okay, we are it's 12:50. We have about 10 minutes left in the Q&A. If you guys would like to go longer, we'll stay longer.
Let me just touch on something real quick. For those of you who don't know, Robert Kelly did not save station agents' jobs. Our jobs were not lost. What he did was he gave away lunch relief jobs, which were 185 jobs. Now, adding the RDO jobs and the vacation relief jobs brings it up to about, I would say, I'm going to estimate maybe 250 jobs. If you read the station agent agreement that he signed with management, he agreed to stop fighting for the lunch relief jobs in signing that agreement. In 1994, when AFC was brought along, there was a dollar increase. In 2022, when he made this station agent of the future agreement, there was a dollar increase. That right there is a total slap in the face. It was a backdoor deal that had he waited and negotiated during contract time, guaranteed we would have got more money than a dollar. So we need people who are going to be progressive, not regressive. And this department is regressing. As you look at your pick books, every pick, the amount of jobs are going down. We need a union that's going to do things in favor for members, not in favor for management.
Okay, Tamika Finney, your VP, she wants to add to what Jeremiah said. Go ahead.
Let me also add that Mr. Wade saying that there's was, a loss in the jobs and there was an agreement signed. On this Q&A, guys, we're not trying to smooth you or soothe you. We have that information and we will make it known. We will make it known on all platforms that this is what happened. This is the truth, and we have the agreement. As I said, as I say in the field, it is an honor to serve you. It is an honor to bring back some unity. In this department. It's no way that these union meetings only have quorum. Like quorum is when they have 10 people, and guess what? 8 of them are the released. We would love for you to come out. We will love your ideas. We want you to stand with us. We are the front line and we will fight for you.
And then open it up to have more meetings like this. We know people have lives, they have kids, so you might not be able to get to a meeting. So to have more meetings like this where we're basically still interacting and giving you information as part of our platform, our media coverage platform, as well as going forward.
So we have a question from William Ortiz. He's asking, how will the issue of CED CTA'S being put out on station payroll for overtime when they are not a part of stations be fixed? This allows the MTA to steal time. So what Mr. Ortiz is addressing that as we've been out in the field, going to meet with members and find out what's going on throughout the system, at the end of the line in terminals, you have stations and CED working together a lot of times. However, CED made us aware that when they're doing overtime, the transit authority is telling them that they have to go and contact stations because that's where they're being paid from, although they are car equipment department, right? And so what has happened to them is that they're working overtime and they're not being paid. Again, that issue of wage theft, right? What they're doing is skewing the lines in CED and telling them that they're stations and that they have to go to stations to get paid. And then stations tells them, you're not in our department, you're CED, you have to go there to get paid. However, they have been working overtime to meet whatever the demands are of the department, and they're not being paid. So again, what we would have to do with that is deal with the issue of wage theft, clearly define where CED works, all of the stations' location. That information has to be given to be cross-shared in the department between CED and the stations department. So that's a little bit more of a complex issue, because what it looks like is that, they're just stealing money because they're telling people who are CED to do stations jobs and then telling them that stations has to pay them, although they're under CED payroll. So that's a huge problem. What benefits can CTAs expect from you guys economically? We had not gained anything under this current VP, who is the CTA by title. So let me just address that as president. So one of the issues that we're going to be looking at is that we're going to be departing from pattern bargaining with DC 37, and we're going to go into what is called sector bargaining. But another part of that is this. We currently do not have the cost of living in our contract. And what the Taylor law tells us, because this is addressing the issue of striking and how does this stuff all come into play. Under the Taylor law, if the transit authority fails to bargain, right, to come to the table and bargain, we have the right to discuss and talk to the transit authority about striking. And so there's going to be no way possible that the transit authority is just going to give us record-breaking raises like what you see happening with the Metro North, Long Island Railroad, Amtrak, what just happened with the longshoremen. Currently, SEPTA is talking about striking down in Philly if they haven't already gone into strike already about wages and benefits. All of these things are main table issues that I would have to address. But we have to begin to look at how we're going to address that. And one of the things is that everything that we can possibly do to hold the transit authority accountable, we're going to have to utilize. We are way behind. While everybody else is inching more and more towards close to $50 and $60 an hour, we are still making $30-something an hour and $40, $41, $42 an hour when everybody else is getting closer and closer to what is called prevailing wage. Also, because we live in the state of New York, the cost of living adjustment is very, very important, right? Because what it costs to live here is something that the transit authority is neglecting to understand. Also, the night differential. We still are not being properly paid for the night differential, right? While everybody else in the city is getting paid 10%, we're still at $1 and change for night
25
at night differential. And that all has to be taken care of. So we are going to aggressively go after the MTA to demand that they understand that we live here and we serve in the city, and we've committed to being here for 25 years contractually and making sure that this system runs, and we've dedicated our lives, and that they have to make sure that they're not starving us out to where we have to move to Connecticut, Delaware, way out, and then commute into the city because we can no longer afford to live here. A one-bedroom apartment in New York City is $3,000 right now, and that is not one paycheck. So we have to make sure that we get our members up a real pay wages and increases. But again, that's going to take us aggressively going after the transit authority and putting all options on the table.
Hello, guys. Let me also reiterate that if you vote for the Stronger Together Slate and you don't vote for Evangeline Byers, we cannot get any more money. Guess what? Richard Davis is not going to allow me to second bargain. Mm-hmm. Richard Davis loves buses. Richard Davis is a bus driver. And if you remember in the contract, buses didn't come off. They didn't come off like a fat rat, but they came off better than we did. So I can only talk about money under Evangeline Byers. I'm gonna say it again. Do not vote Richie Davis and come on the other side and then vote for my entire slate.
The other thing is, to answer your question more directly, for CTAs, at this point in time, Kelly went ahead and did a backdoor deal for the station agents, giving them $1 extra, bringing them, I believe, 97, 98 cents more than a conductor gets at this point.
It should have been across the board.
It should have been across the board for all of us inside our department. But again, it's all about wage disparity at this point in time. We have to go ahead and fix that for our tiers and our titles everywhere that's going on, because it's unfair to our CTAs who do work hard, who do give up their days off to do the snow duty and everything else, which they should get more than just, what was it, $15 extra for the snow duty?
Yeah, too much.
Something like that.
Not enough.
It's definitely not enough.
And the other thing is, while we're on the topic of CTAs and Mr. Kelly being a CTA by title, not by actual working, why CTA is still only making 60% of top pay when every other title makes 70%? Why is that still allowed in the contract? You know, that needs to go. Right now, we're facing human apartheid at this company, economic apartheid at this company, and our current administration from the top down does not care at all. If you look at it, think about history, think about South Africa apartheid, and think about the MTA. It's absolutely no difference.
And one of the things that I know Evangeline Byers and Tamika Finney will be fighting for is to hold MTA management accountable for pulling workers. So they will definitely negotiate a clause where workers are, CTAs specifically, are receiving a bonus for getting overly pulled. That needs to be put into effect, because when you go to these union meetings and these union officials are telling you, oh no, you can't get pulled more than three times a week, which is a lie. And they can pull you however many times they want. And you're being overworked, and it's sad. There should be some type of compensation for that. So they're definitely going to fight for that for you.
And also, it's not in writing. There's nowhere in the contract saying that you can only pull 3 times max in a week. We will have that in writing saying that, no, you're not allowed to be pulled no more than 3 times a week, and also fight for monetary incentives if you're going to be pulled as well.
Right.
And also fight for the fact that me as a fellow CTA, I can't go take the test for ADT because I wasn't a station agent. So to fight for CTAs to be able to move up if you have prior experience in other titles. I have a prior experience in security, but I can't just go and take an exam to go to collective agent or anything like that. So we're going to fight also for equality on having CTAs move out of that title and into other titles as well.
Even the way this current promotion is being handled, and don't take this offensive, or don't get me wrong, CTAs, congratulations for those who are becoming station agents, but the fact that the way it's being done is a little unethical, as far as they're calling you, basically giving you 1 or 2 days to decide if you want the job. They're not telling you how much you're going to get paid, and it's provisional. And they're not telling you when they call you, it's provisional. So with DCAS, the list was not certified. So anyone who takes the job as a CTA, you are provisional. I mean, it's a promotion at the end of the day, but just keep in mind that it is provisional and that it's being done for a vote. It's not being done for your best interests. It's being done for a vote.
So something else I want to just piggyback off of when you talk about when we're talking about raises and how these things are going to be administered. Remember that in your department, in the union, the president has to be concerned about all of our members, right? Tamika Finney brought up to you all about the issue of the president of the union preferring one department over another. And that has been what has been the resounding issue in the field, that what they're finding is that when you look in the contract, that different departments are that departments are treated differently, and that the Department of Buses is doing exponentially better than everyone else, right? However, I know that is not true because I'm out talking to people in the Department of Buses, and the $2 extra that they got in their contract for the Arctic bus, the Transit Authority reduced the number of Arctic buses that are now being utilized, so they're not even benefiting from it. And at this moment, as we are on this live, they are not getting any overtime. The Transit Authority has now overhired 110% in buses, therefore doing away with overtime. They have people just sitting around not working, all because Richie Davis has allowed the Transit Authority to do whatever it is that they want to do, right? If they are going to hire at 110%, then that means it's time to give us cost of living adjustment and to give us the pay raises that we need so that we can survive off of an 80-hour paycheck in New York City. So that's something that's missing. So we will be taking care of all departments and treating everyone the same, right? We're not going to go and bargain for one area and leave another area lacking. It will not happen anymore. That means that the president is not paying attention to what is happening departmentally in negotiations. He's only concerning himself with main table, and that's the problem. Because that means, or with his department, right? But everybody else, takes a hit. So we're going to deal with that. The next question is, Richard Davis told me that, but it's a lie. He said, we asked to move cash. Yes, good fight. We got that. Jose Figueroa. Good afternoon, Stronger Together Slate. Hope all is well. If and when your slate wins, what, in your opinion, would be your first order of business for our local? So the first order of business when we come in for our local one is to deal with making all meetings and everything available to the membership. That we are going to open up the executive board meetings. That is something that's going to be done immediately, that we're going to have it to where our members can now come and sit on the executive board meetings. And this is very important to me because on the executive board is where all of the issues that affect our union, the things that we're talking about, safety in your department, if motions are going to be moved to implement things that need to be implemented in your departments, this all has to go through the executive board. And those first meetings, we're going to immediately move to make all voting electronic. We will no longer be doing paper balloting, right? That's going to change. We're going to deal with assaults. That is a top priority. And also grievance and discipline. Those are some of the priority issues that we see right now. Excessive discipline across the local is out of control. So those are some of our first orders of business, to deal with safety and excessive discipline, opening up the meetings, and dealing with the I forgot what I just said. Excessive discipline, meetings, electronic voting, and I said one more thing.
And
Opening up the meetings to
the membership.
To the membership, right, to the members at large, so that you all can begin to understand what's going on and what the executive board is. We will no longer be having any type of contract negotiations where the executive board is not given a copy of the contract. Meetings will be moved from 1 day to 2 days so that if there's anything that needs to be voted on, everyone will be allowed to review the material and come back the next day for vote. No more rushing votes on important issues and then saying, I didn't know about it, right? So those are some of the things that are going to be a top priority.
Hi, Juan. How are you? The first priority for me is to come out in the stations department. It is not for me to sit in the office. It is for me and my team to come out to meet you, to hear what's going on. I don't want to hear, there's a mice coming into N70 and it's just a little hole. No, I want to come out. I want to see it. I don't want 1,000 G2s. I want to come out and be able to collect my own evidence. So when I go up against the MTA, I don't have to say my member said, or here's a G to incriminate my member. No, I saw it. My thing is, to hit the ground running.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Okay. Wait a minute. So William Ortiz asks, second question, can we stations and CED jointly work on issues dealing with CTA? Yes, you can.
Yes.
That's how the union is supposed to be functioning, right? It's not supposed to be functioning in a silo where one department is dealing with an issue that interconnects, but the VPs and the departments are not meeting collectively to deal with that issue. So yes, you will be working closely together.
That is something definitely we can fight for and push for. Is
We
to
can
have
Wait, let me
question.
read the question. Why can't the second RDO on snow duty emergency can be double time as a monetary incentive for CTAs to come in on the second RDO? So like Shampri just said, that is something that we can work on. Again, we have to look at what has already been signed off on in the department, right? So we have to do a review of what is already there, what has been done, and then see what is our path to be able to fix all of these issues, especially around snow duty, the pulling of CTAs and things of that nature. Sorry.
Our last question.
Richard Davis told me that, okay, I'm sorry that we already heard that one. Hold on. Okay. Okay, so we have someone here who wants to discuss. Okay, so QWERTY Bird, I don't know who that is, but it's saying, how can we ensure our personal business is being protected when needing Ricky Pabone's advice when she is famously known to post people's personal information and disparaging comments on Facebook? I don't know Ricky to be someone who disparages people on Facebook. If that's something that you have a concern with, or that we don't, I don't know of that. So if that's an issue that you have or something, I don't know what that is. So we'll address it. If you're trying to say that that's something that's happening, we'll address it. Okay, thank you. So one of the things that this is one of the people that are connected to us wanted me to talk to you all about is the financial audit. So we will be doing a financial audit of a forensic audit of our finances at Local 100. So that's also a part of some of our first orders of business. So someone is asking, can you explain the difference between Shampri, financial apartheid and economic apartheid?
So basically, the difference between finances and economics is kind of the same thing. But when I talk about economics, I'm talking about the difference in pay scales. If you actually look at the MTA overall, think about GM, General Motors. There's Chevy, there's Buick, and there's Cadillac. Now, you can go to work for any one of those three companies inside the factory. You're all getting paid the same. Why is it such a major difference if you work for New York City Transit, the Metro North, or the LIRRR? That now it's also a race being played in it. That's why I said I used the word apartheid. But there's race factored into that. Even when we talk about our right to strike, Metro North, LIRRR, they get to strike. We don't. We're the largest minority-built union in the city and state, but we do not have the right to strike. So
No, stop saying that. We do.
we do, but
Mhm.
the union will tell you that we don't. We do not have the right to strike. But also, they've been hiding the fact from the membership that the International Organization of Labor ruled in our favor back in 2011 that we do have the right to strike. It's a human right to strike, and that everybody from the 2005 strike needs to be financially compensated, and that it's on the international website. But our current administration, the past administration of the Utano and Samerson has never done anything about that and took the state up on that issue.
Mhm.
So they haven't been fighting for that. And that's something else that we will be taking up that fight. But when we talk about economics, we're not getting that same pay parity and equity. You know, they keep talking about equality, but where's the equality and the equity when it comes to our pay? When we're doing the same job across the board, and we actually at New York City Transit, I'm going to blatantly say it, we work harder. Because at Metro North and Long Island Railroad, they're not cleaning up feces. They're not dealing with rats and rodents and everything like we're doing. They're not dealing with the homeless. Basically, we come to work and have 3 different jobs. We're CTA'S, we're customer service, and then we're social workers. And we're never being compensated for any of that.
Okay. Okay, so it seems like we have basically answered all of the questions. And we just want to thank you all for tuning in to the Stations Department Q&A so that you can meet your reps and hear from them directly. We have one of the executive board members on. Mr. Tushar, do you want to say anything before we close out? Mr. Tushar? It seems like he's having trouble with his camera. Okay, so we're...
Can I address that question about me? It be very quick.
Go ahead.
As for the question about me putting out personal business, I put out my personal business. Okay? I don't go ahead and run and tell what this member's doing, that member's doing, or anything else like that. Your confidentiality is completely safe with me. As the majority of you know who have come to me with their personal problems, home life problems, work problems, nothing is ever printed on Facebook or in any way. So QWERTY, I believe that was the name of the screen name. I do believe you just have some misconcerns and misconceptions about who I am as a person.
Thank you. So we thank everybody for, your time. And again, just to reinforce what Ricky just said, that, listen, we're here to serve the members. We're not here to put out people's information or to bash anyone. We are trying to bring this union together, unify us, educate, agitate, and organize this membership and take us into the future and ensure that we have job security, that we have wages in step with inflation and the cost of living within New York City, that our health and safety is protected, and that we once again become a fighting union. And so we will take everybody's comments and concerns into consideration, but you have our word that we will protect the safety and integrity of our membership as we currently do. Thank you so much, everyone, and thanks for tuning in.
It's an honor to serve you. It'll be an honor to serve you. Thank you so much for tuning in. And y'all
come to
guys
stand and fight for Stronger Together.
Remember, ballots go out November 18th. To receive a ballot, at the bottom of the screen, if you can call AAA to receive a ballot. If you need to get your dues status, you can call Ron Moquette in the dues office. Everything is on the ticker at the bottom of the screen to how you can access to pay your dues and how you receive a ballot as well. If you do not receive a ballot by the 20th or the 21st of November, please call. You will lose 4 days to be able to call for a ballot due to the Thanksgiving holiday, right? So the 2 days, the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, AAA will be closed. So make sure that you call around the 20th or the 21st to ensure that you receive a ballot. The ballot count will take place on December 12th at 9 a.m. So again, thank you for tuning in. It's a pleasure to serve you. We fight together.
We
Stand
win.
together.
We win together. We are
stand
strong together.
Yes.
Have a great day.
Have a
Take
great
care,
day,
everyone.
everyone.
Thank you.
Make sure you vote Stronger Together. Have a great day.